Howdy. This is a video on how to charge your battery. This is actually part one of a part 3 series, how to maintain your battery, but specifically, as I said, how to charge your battery. Now there's a certain order that you need to follow when charging your battery. So let's go with step one, and I've made a cheat sheet for myself here on the board. So the first thing is, use your PPEs, your personal protection equipment, for sure. So there's your gloves. And the reason we're using gloves is for obvious reasons. We're dealing with battery acid. But dare I say, more importantly, use your safety glasses. Because if you don't have eyes, well, that's bad. All right, here we go. Safety glasses. First things first. Safety glasses, gloves. Okay, so what we need to do, step one, after you put your protection on, is you first need to make sure that these plates, and hopefully you can see that these plates and these batteries need to be covered with water. Now this happens to be a good example. This machine happens to be a good example for this video. As I opened all these caps, and that's one thing you'll want to do, obviously, is open these caps and check the level of the water first. But anyway, as I was doing that, I noticed that, well, all of them, as you can probably tell, are dry. I just filled that one just for the purpose of the video. But anyway, all of them were dry. Now the chances that we can revive these 4 batteries because they've been dry for who knows how long, the chances are very slim. So there's a good possibility that this is going to be a $500+ cost for whoever owns this machine, just because these cells were not, or these plates inside the cells were not covered. All right, so I digress a little bit. First step is make sure these plates are at least covered with water. We're not going to talk about filling up to the proper level yet, but we're going to talk about they at least need to be covered. Okay, so the plates are these little cardboard looking lines inside here. All right, so we at least need to fill them or cover the plates. Once the plates are covered, okay, let's just imagine these plates are at least covered with water. What type of water do we use? We use this is distilled water. Okay, don't use tap water, only use distilled water. If you have a question where the distilled water is, ask your supervisor. The supervisor will provide the distilled water. Okay, so we at least want to cover the cells. How do we do it? Well, you can use this little doodad, this little piece of equipment, this pitcher. And how this pitcher works is once you depress this nozzle, water comes out, okay, or distilled water comes out. How this works is once you put this over the hole that we just showed, you put it over level and depress it, and the water level will fill up to this level, and then it will stop filling, okay, and that will fill up your batteries to the perfect level. Again, we're not going to talk yet about filling them up to the perfect level. We just want to cover the lead plates here. Once the lead plates are covered, and only covered, then we're either going to use an off-board charger, whoops, similar to this. Okay, this would sit on your shelf. It's going to be similar to this. You might have one that looks bigger and boxier and silver in color. So we'll plug the batteries into the charger, or another type of charger is an onboard charger where the charger is actually mounted onto the machine. In this case, well, it's down underneath this area, and there's a plug that you would plug directly into the wall. So whether your charger is an onboard charger like this or an off-board charger like that, you would plug this end into the batteries. There's going to be a lead coming off of your batteries. Plug in your batteries, and then plug this other end into the wall, like that. All right. So at that point, your batteries should be charging. Once your batteries have charged, or once the charger has gone through a cycle and your batteries have charged, then and only then are we going to worry about your batteries being up to the perfect level. Before, we're only getting them, or getting the lead plates covered. Now we're going to make sure the cells are filled to the perfect level. And how do we do that? So, as I mentioned before, you want to, what's the best, maybe this is the best way. Put this little pitcher on in the hole here, and it has to be level. It can't be like this or like that, but it has to be level right here. And the reason for that is, as we talked about before, you can probably hear that. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Your distilled water is going into this cell. And because this is level on that hole, once the water gets up to that certain level at the bottom of that spout, it will automatically stop. Let's hope there's enough water in this pitcher to do that. Still filling, still filling. Well, this is a special example because this cell was completely dry. And, well, okay, and it worked. It stopped. That is the perfect level. Okay? And that is due to using this pitcher right here. If you'll notice, I don't know, maybe Clayton can, if you'll notice right there, it'll say, what does it say? I don't know,
max level.
Max level. So that'll tell you exactly whether you use one of these pitchers or not. The important part is after you charge, bring it up to that max level. Okay. So, but as I was saying before, if you have this pitcher in here and you're pushing down and you have your pitcher tipped, it's going to fill up past that max level. Well, that wasn't a very good example because it didn't work. But this has to be level. Okay. On some machines, the cells are underneath, are kind of sticking, well, placed underneath a cover or a part of the machine. So it would be impossible to put that pitcher directly on top and level with the battery. So you would just need to fill it up with whatever means you have possible. But again, only fill it up to where it says max level. So that's the correct order. You make sure the lead plates are covered, just covered, then you charge it, then you make sure the cells are filled to the proper level. All right, I think I covered everything. Cover everything? Yes. So next will be part 2, and then we'll talk about in part 2 the troubleshooting your battery charger, how to know if you have a good charger, and how often to charge. All right, signing off.